Ferrari 430. A vision of octane, fueled grace, the very definition of poetry in motion. But as 2009 drew to a close, the world's car market bid a very sad farewell to one of the greatest Ferrari models ever made. So as we brush back the tears, we're going to pay homage to the passing of this great Italian icon with one final blast.
This is how a true supercar should feel. Its balance, its poise, its grace, it is absolute music to my ears. It is beautiful. It's so quick that you will frighten yourself to death with anything other than the slightest flex of your big toe.
The F430 was only in production for half a decade, but in that time this car made its mark. Interestingly, when placing an order for one of these, you could have expected to join the end of a 2 to 3 year waiting list, which means that if you'd ordered one in 2006, you might just possibly have been lucky enough to take delivery by 2009.
The F430 was launched in 2005 as a replacement for the 360 Modena, and although this is Ferrari's cheapest model, it is without a shadow of a doubt a thing of beauty.
When I say that Ferraris are automotive works of art, I mean it. It's not supposition or a matter of opinion, it's a cold, hard fact. Something that can only be qualified truly in the great British comic style of John Clease or Richard Curtis. So, pay attention. It's a fact that Ferraris are beautiful because they are what is known as aesthetically pleasing. To illustrate this point, here's a picture of our two lovely models considering doing something rather explicit on a Lotus. Now, the vast majority of us would concur that this is a fairly appealing image. Here, on the other hand, is an artist's impression of British PM Gordon Brown in Bondage, with constipation by the looks of it. An image that I'm pretty sure will give many of you, including Mrs. Brown, nightmares for some time to come. So, fact, attractive and unattractive. Transferring this understanding now to the automotive form, the 430 has the seductive allure of a very leggy Italian fashion model in a microscopically short-bread dress. While the designers of this, the Indian-made Riva NXR electric car, are still being hunted by fashion police for violent offences against the eye. It is possibly the ugliest car in the world, and without even driving it, I know that I don't like it. In fact, I can't imagine anyone liking it, except perhaps blind people, and I'm pretty sure that even they would sense its profound ugliness as it passed by. So there we are, another TFL fact successfully established. The 430 is, or at least was, an officially beautiful car. Thank you.
But with the 430, beauty is more than skin deep, because beneath that beautiful red skin beats a V8 heart that will deliver 490 brake horsepower, which will give you 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds and a top speed just short of 200 miles an hour. But that is not the best bit about driving a Ferrari. This is. Combination of the sound between that engine and exhaust, combined with the incredibly nimble chassis that makes the 430 one of the most desirable cars in the world.
The problem is that you tend to get too caught up in the drama. in the overture of noise and the intense seduction of speed. This is no four-wheel drive Lamborghini Gallardo. The 430 feels like a living thing. It communicates the feel of the road so well through the wheel that you actually begin to feel part of the car. And that means it makes you want to go even faster.
God, that's a lot of speed. Actually, too much speed. Too much speed. I think I need to change my underwear. Being a true supercar, the 430 is not an easy car to drive fast. It's lightning quick, it's razor sharp, and if you take any liberties with it, it will have you. You have to treat this car like a mafia hitman. If you treat it with respect, it will quite calmly annihilate every other sports car on the planet. But disrespect it just once, and it'll be your head that ends up on somebody's bed, not the horses. I'm a Michael Schumacher Ferrari. You gotta have the respect for the family. You make a mistake, I kill you. Performance up to 4,000 RPM in this car is staggering, and you may as well have strapped a rocket to your backside. And then when you redline that beautiful howling 4.3 litre V8 engine all the way up to 8,500 RPM, it's enough to triple your heart rate.
It is indeed comforting to know that just one push of the start button will measure on the Richter scale, sending animals and small children running in terror. It's so loud under load, in fact, that hospital cardiac wards would be very wise to set up Ferrari exclusion zones. In addition, it may be prudent to deliver all Ferraris with a health warning in very large print.
If you're unfortunate enough to have such a condition, I would heartily recommend avoiding taking this car anywhere near its potential. Unless, of course, you've got a sport button fitted to your pacemaker.
Although I jest about the fear factor effects of driving or even being passed by this car at close quarters, you can believe me about the adrenaline levels that it generates. So the Ferrari 430 then is probably the most iconic sports car of the last decade. And although it may have come to a tearful end, its spirit will live on because this is its replacement. The 458 Italia, a car that they say is even better than a Scuderia, a car that tops the 200 miles per hour mark, and that the world's press were waiting to test drive with bated breath when this program was being made. So for now we can only speculate, but if the Italia is even fractionally better than the 430, then in my opinion it will more than likely be the most iconic sports car of the coming decade.